and welcome to the Teacher's Lounge. I'm here with fellow GGC teacher, Brandon Graves. Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what school you teach at, a little bit about who you are?
Hi, teachers. I'm Brandon Graves. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and teach at Bick Elementary, 5th grade.
How did you become a teacher?
Everybody, with the exception of my mother and father, they're all teachers. So both of my paternal grandfathers were teachers.
Oh, wow.
My grandmother's a teacher. A lot of my family works in education. So it was just something that I always said I would never do. But ended up leaving school, went to school for television and film, and somehow ended up in the classroom and then just loved it. And so I've been here ever since. I've been teaching for about 17 years now.
Wow, that is so cool because my parents are both also teachers and we kind of have that in common where my sister is also a teacher and I thought I wasn't going to be a teacher either, and then I kind of got suckered into it somehow. I feel that when you're meant to be a teacher that you can't deny it and you're just going to end up in the classroom somehow.
I had an aunt that would always say, "You're going to be a teacher," and I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah. I would love to hear about your classroom and your school and what makes Global Game Changers work for you in your classroom.
All right, so I teach at Bick Elementary here in Louisville, Kentucky. I teach 5th grade, a class of 23 students. We've done GGC as a special area, and now we have evolved to each teacher teaching it in the classroom. And I think what makes it work in my classroom is really probably the same thing that makes it work in most any classroom is, one, it teaches the students independence. It also has them thinking about themselves as superheroes. And for kids, that's always an amazing thing. I noticed that my students really, really enjoy being able to develop talent projects. My students really enjoy being able to learn about the new badges and incorporate that into different aspects of their life. Both in this classroom and outside the classroom. And now that they've been doing it so long, they got it in 4th grade and they got it in 3rd grade. And so they're familiar with the language. They're familiar with some of the outcomes and some of the projects that they have to do. So I think what makes it work really is just the fact that they've been doing it for so long, and now it's just a part of their daily curriculum.
That's so nice that y'all's school kind of builds it from kindergarten up through 5th grade, right? So do they start it in kindergarten and they get it kind of every year in their homeroom classroom?
Yes.
Wow. What do you think your students' favorite heart badge is? Because I have a lot of stories about the heart badges and what ones my students like, but what do you think your students like the best?
Well, I think that's what's great about GGC is that the kids really are different. And so different kids take to different things. I can't say that there's one badge that my kids all gravitate towards. Another thing that I love about GGC is because it's so kid-centered, the things that I think that they're going to gravitate towards, they might, and there's things that they gravitate towards that, I didn't think that this was going to be a thing that you were going to gravitate towards. But as an example, we just completed our rescue badge. And separately, a local police officer has been working with our students to reduce gang violence. And it's a month-long program. And at the end of the program, they had their own little mini graduation from this program. And they got cookies and cupcakes and things like that.
Yeah.
So they decided to take their graduation as a time to honor this police officer. So they ended up making cards, making different crafts and everything. And also making a little goodie bag so that this police officer would have something in his car while he was out doing his police work. So they came up with their own project to ignite good in a local police officer's life.
Oh, wow. I bet he'll never forget what they did for him. That's so special. One of my classroom that I didn't think they would really gravitate towards, but that so many of my students were interested in is the veteran badge. And since Veterans Day was in November, we made cards for the local veterans hospital down the road from my school. And so many of my students, when I was reading the letters they wrote, they were telling these former war heroes that they wanted to be military service members and be in the military in some aspect. And that's something that I never would have known about my students if we didn't do the veteran badge. So I just think it is cool to see the unique gifts and talents that each child in my classroom kind of gravitates toward, because it is always different.
Absolutely. Now, I will say what is also surprising, speaking of the Veterans Badge, my students interviewed
Oh, wow.
some local veterans. And even after the badge and we have moved towards another badge, they're still incorporating things that they learned from 2 or 3 badges ago
Yeah.
in their current badge. So
Yeah, I feel that the badges kind of like recycle themselves throughout the year and like different lessons, and they kind of keep coming back up, which I think is the beauty of the program too, that even if you're just focusing on one badge, you can kind of incorporate different ones that all the kids are excited about.